Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. All I say, ladies and gentlemen, is please stop what you're doing and pay attention to this video. I tell you why. I think in all the videos I've done, this one has got to rank up as one of the absolute all-time best. Please hit like before you go, because you're going to like this story, because it is a tale of stupidity and ineptitude, the likes of which you have never seen. Yesterday at FMQs, there were three MSPs who weren't there. They were Sarah Boyack, Jeremy Balfour, and Stuart McMillan. And they weren't in FMQs because they weren't in Edinburgh. They had made their way to Australia. Now, that's a big old flight on a big old plane. That's a massive carbon footprint, which is ironic because they were going down for a big climate change conference in Australia, because apparently Zoom doesn't work in Australia. So there was this, and this is the irony, there was this whole debate on emissions in Scotland, in Parliament, in Holyrood, where they voted to abandon their climate change laws. They're rushing through this thing to try and get rid of it, to stop them breaking their own law, because they've admitted it's too hard. Meanwhile, at the same time, they've sent these three clowns halfway around the world to Oz, to a climate change summit. I'm not making this up, right? And so they've jetted out all the way to Australia for this summit. It just gets worse, right? So the cost of this trip to send these three clowns to Australia was £32,800. That's £32,800 of public money, sending the three most inept tosspots halfway around the world. Thinking it's bad, doing that at the same time as abandoning their own climate legislation. Irony. Anyway, while they do that, these three who'd gone to, and I think it's the Commonwealth Parliamentary Conference, the CPC, right? And this is this conference on the climate, basically. You know, they're doing this. Anyway, Boyack is a long-standing environmental campaigner. She was dead desperate to get onto this. She's Labour. She's one of Anas Sarwar's shadow cabinet bods on climate. And she said, as she was leaving, that this would be a day of shame for the SNP abandoning this policy, this climate change policy. And that's all very fine and pleasant of her. However, whilst they are busy bemoaning the Scottish government for abandoning their climate change thing, they then spend 24 hours travelling to Australia at £32,800 to have this vote at this Commonwealth policy agreement thing on climate. And there's lots of things to do and things to see, and they've got these workshops, and there's lectures, and they've guest speakers, and they do all this, and then it's time for the vote. Only these three clowns, whatever they were doing, missed the vote. They were late. They were too late to get to the vote. So they've spent £32,800, moaned about what the SNP are doing, and then, I don't know, were too heavily drunk, were hanging, I don't know, but actually failed to vote on the very thing they went all the way to Australia to do. Now, I think personally we need to bill them for that flight and hotels, everything, right? There was the accommodation, there's registration fees to get into the thing, there was meals, there was the backup, incidental expenses is what they call them. You know, the $20 note for the stripper's thong. I don't know what was going on in their minds. But to go all that way and then miss the vote. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the three most inept MSPs in the entire history of the Scottish Parliament. And it would be absolutely funny if it didn't cost £32,800. Unbelievable. It just goes to show this is the level of the people who are running Scotland. Is it any wonder Scotland is in the state it's in? Sad, isn't it? What a bunch of absolute plonkers. Thanks very much. Bye.